Coming up tonight on YCN News, learn more about the meeting regarding the Keene Pumpkin Festival, an update on the Claremont false police report case, and we'll hear from Ryan Schramm from Ragged Mountain Resort. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening and welcome to this Wednesday edition of YCN News. I'm Lynn Solomon. It's not every day that a festival devoted to carving and illuminating pumpkins makes headlines, but this October's annual Keene Pumpkin Festival was not like previous years. Instead of people learning how many jack-o'-lanterns were on display in the city's downtown, people watched videos and saw pictures of police dressed in riot gear trying to break up a student riot at an off-campus Keene State College party. A meeting yesterday night with city and college leaders took a look at the future of the festival and how the city and college coexists, or not.
The moderator tonight is Dr. Stephen Jones, president of Antioch University, New England, and we're going to try to end this about 8:30. Anyone with written comments about this evening's discussion may submit them to the Keene City Clerk for inclusion in the record by December 12th. At this time, I want to give special thanks to Keene State College and Dr. Ann Hewitt for hosting this public forum.
On October 20th, I hosted an all-campus forum during which many of our students expressed their concerns about what happened and discussed what needs to happen going forward. As is the case with many of you here tonight, they asked for accountability. We have done everything possible to identify people who were responsible during the riots, regardless of whether or not they attend Keene State College. We've been vigilant in delivering on our commitment to do so. We've shared names, video, and pictures with the Keene Police Department, as well as within our network of sister colleges and universities. Just last week, we completed the majority of our conduct hearings. Every student at Keene State College who violated our code of conduct and was found responsible was held accountable. We are one community here, and the community suffered a blow on October 18th that has affected all of us, our students, faculty, staff, and the community members. The planning leading up to the Pumpkin Festival between the college and the city was highly coordinated and aggressive. The unruly and disrespectful behavior that occurred in and around several neighborhoods in the city is both unacceptable and a very serious concern for all of us.
What I'm here to talk about tonight is quite simply that I had to spend 4.5 hours on that particular evening standing on my front porch guarding my property from people who were intoxicated, drunk, and having a good time. That's unacceptable. I bought the house 25 years ago. I can tell you right now that Pumpkin Festival this year was not an isolated incident. It was simply the culmination of the previous years in terms of what was happening. Parties continue on a regular basis, and that's fine, but apparently we've lost the ability to party without being loud and inflicting ourselves on the neighborhood. We've had an escalation. This final year was yet another culmination. I don't want to see another year with a bigger increased situation than what we had this year, because I would hate to have to hire armed guards to protect my property.
Well, I love the event, and I would love to see it continue. Based on what happened the last 2 years, culminating in this year, I don't think it can continue, at least not in its current format. As a business owner, it's certainly a boon to me, but it's one that I'm willing to let go of for safety reasons. My manager, who's a young woman, 30 years old with 3 children, her husband had to remove the children from their home and hide at their in-laws' house because of the circumstances on Winchester Street. And when I saw families in danger like that, either having to leave their homes or not able to leave their homes, that made a big difference.
Meanwhile, several college students arrested by police on charges stemming from their role in the October 18th weekend riot are headed to court this month. It remains unknown why a Claremont grade school paraeducator told police she saw a man carrying a gun through the Maple Avenue Elementary parking lot on November 18th. One thing is for sure, though, 21-year-old Rebecca Parker is out of a job. Arraigned yesterday in Claremont District Court on a charge by police of making a false report, the Washington, New Hampshire native faces another court date in February. She remains free on bail. As noted in an affidavit by Claremont Police Lieutenant Stanley Andruski, Parker told police during an interview later on the 18th that she doesn't know why she made up the story, the Valley News reports. Police searched the area around the school for the alleged gunman. Children were sent home from classes. When Parker realized how out of control her alleged false report had become, Andruski writes, she did not come forward with the truth. She appeared to be upset with herself for what she had done. Turning to Vermont news, towns throughout the state received financial help with municipal projects, including several in Windham and Windsor counties. In all, more than $475,000 in grant money will go to 44 local governments in Vermont. The money will help breathe new life into communities, helping plan for infrastructure, improvements, and more. The state's Department of Housing and Community Development makes the awards and has done so since 1998. The Municipal Planning Grant Program supports local community revitalization and planning goals. Most of the grants require some local match. Recipients this year include $26,374 for the Southern Windsor County Regional Planning Commission and the Town of Chester $9,960 to develop a new town plan and update development bylaws. Chester's grant includes a plan to apply the lessons it learned during recent severe floods, which dovetails with a grant the town of Springfield received. Flood and water damage from unexpected storms will be part of the project Springfield planning and zoning officials tackle with the $10,080 grant it received from the state. An award of $7,680 went to Windsor to amend town zoning bylaws for its updated town plan. It's not quite winter, that starts officially December 21st, yet the weather is rapidly changing. Icy roads will need to be treated, yes, but also respected by drivers. Not to mention the deer and other game that may venture out of the woods regardless of road conditions. That's what happened yesterday to a driver from Walpole, New Hampshire. 31-year-old Julia Reed was headed south on I-91 shortly after 5:30 p.m., police report, when a deer crossed her path near Rockingham. Reed was wearing a seatbelt at the time of the crash. She was not injured. There's no word on the fate of the deer. Road conditions were clear and dry, and the collision left Reed's 2005 Toyota Corolla front end with moderate damage. When YCN News returns, we'll join Ryan Schramm from Ragged Mountain Resort and bring you more news.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Lynn Solomon. Sometimes it can be a delicate balance to offer new and more services to winter sports fans at area ski resorts. Keeping skiers and snowboarders happy needs to be done with the natural environment in mind. Recently, the Urban Land Institute hosted a forum on the ski industry's impact on New Hampshire development, moderated by Executive Director of Ski New Hampshire, Jessica Keeler. Area panelists included Newbury Town Administrator Dennis Pavlicek and Ragged Mountain Resort Director of Business Development, Ryan Schramm. After the forum, we traveled to the resort and asked Ryan to expand on comments he made about working with local communities.
Well, one of the biggest things that you need to keep in mind is that you need to have patience in dealing with your local regulatory agencies. The planning process needs to start early along with the project, and they need to be involved at every step of that process. I think you just need to make sure that the companies that you're dealing with, the engineers that you have working for you, are particularly well versed in being able to communicate effectively with those that might not be an engineer. For the most part, the local communities are very helpful with us in our development progress and process. A lot of our local community members are skiers and snowboarders. They like to partake of the facility and they like to ski and snowboard here, and they like to see us move forward and keep up with the times and see that the resort is successful so their families and their children and grandchildren can enjoy the place too. Especially in a small town in Danbury, we're one of the town's largest employers, so that definitely has a positive impact on our relations with the community.
Former U.S. House Speaker Tip O'Neill used to say, "All politics is local." This only goes to show that having a good working relationship with your community that covers a long time span is the best way to get things accomplished. Tomorrow, we will talk to Jay Gamble from Mount Sunapee Resort, who made some macro remarks at the forum about the cost of energy and doing business in northern New England as we move into the future. Please tune in. In political news, a member of the New Hampshire congressional delegation is co-sponsoring a bill to reform the military justice system. It's been 1 year since Congress passed changes on how sexual assaults of soldiers by other soldiers are handled by the military. Today, Republican Senator Kelly Ayotte will continue this work with colleagues Missouri Democrat Claire McCaskill and Nebraska Republican Deb Fischer. The National Defense Authorization Act will include the 3 senators' work focusing on the Victim Protection Act. The combined acts are set to go for debate to both houses of Congress shortly. One provision of the Victim Protection Act allows for a soldier who has been sexually assaulted to give input on whether their case is tried in military or civilian court. Survivors would also be able to challenge their discharge or separation from military service. YCN News will update you on passage of the act, part of the nation's defense bill. When YCN News returns, we'll take a look at my interview with Eva Christchell, local author and Colby Sawyer College professor.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Lynn Solomon. Let's join Matt McDonald for weather and sports.
Thanks, Lynn. Tonight will be mostly cloudy during the early evening with a low around 25. Thursday will be sunny with a high near 31. Thursday night will be partly cloudy with a low around 14. Friday will be partly sunny with a high near 31. Friday night there may be a chance of snow and freezing rain. Lows will be around 26 degrees. And now let's take a look at our community calendar. Tomorrow in Walpole, the Select Board meeting will be held at 6 p.m. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. Turning to Manchester Monarchs news, just a reminder that there will be 2 games later this week. On Friday, the Monarchs are slated to face Portland at Portland, starting at 7 p.m. Then on Saturday, Manchester will host the Norfolk Admirals. YCN News will bring you updates on these games on Monday.
Thanks, Matt. When we return, we'll join Capital Connections' John O'Connor, who interviewed Peter Galbraith.
The YCN News continues in a moment.